So this is the Swamp Classics. What's up, Cycle Fam? Welcome back to the channel. Yeah, let's just say my season opener did not go the way I thought it would. Borderline disaster. It's a pretty rough start. This is the Swamp Classics located in North Florida, Gainesville to be exact. And this is the kickoff to the race season. And I was extremely excited. I have been wanting and been just ready to get back out on the bike, throw my bike around, rub some shoulders and ride fast. Before we get too deep, let's start with how much time and effort that takes to go into racing, whether that's your resources, money, training, food, travel, all of those things. It costs, and we have to be real with ourselves. Bike racing, unless you're not doing it pro, you lose a little money. A lot of us do this for being able to compete. At least for me, I treat this like a sport. And doing it at a sanctioned level. But when you have weekends like this, it could be a little humbling. I'm gonna roll this clip of the road race, and let's just say, yeah, just watch this. All right, man, just touched down in Gainesville. Well, I got here last night. Y'all wishing me luck, man. We got the road race today. It's about 58 miles, Cat 3-4 field and collegiate field. About to go ahead and register. No expectations, man. We're just here to see what the baseline is, kick off the season. Feeling really good right now. I did a early morning spin from the hotel to just shake the legs out from the ride here. So let's get it.
Made a mistake. So Ashley Davis second, Eleanor first, and Amelia third. So
extremely large field. Race has a gravel section I didn't really know about, or at least the roads got worse over the years, and a lot of people were getting mechanicals and flattened out. So that's it for me. That was like the first lap and a half before we were getting on that last turn. But racing, man, how it happens. Quit tomorrow. Yeah, so as you can see, so much was happening there. When I registered for this race, there was nothing on the website, the flyer, saying that this race would have gravel. Now, I've posted this on Instagram, I've posted the shorts on YouTube. A lot of you guys had comments, and it went both ways. Can't believe there's gravel there. Who put that there? Or, man, that's light gravel, that's nothing. I want to respond to the people who have said that's light gravel and it's nothing. Here's the problem. The problem is we are taking these bikes, which are not designed for gravel. It's like taking a Ferrari or a Lamborghini to an off-road race. You wouldn't do that. It's too low. A lot of things can go wrong. And I didn't get to pre-ride that course. I've watched it on YouTube. I've looked at vegan cyclists. I've looked at several riders who've done this road race. Not much coverage for it, but there was word that there was a rough section on the road. And of course, these cameras with motion, what is it? with motion stabilization, you can't tell how rough the roads are. You just can't tell. And someone at the race this year has said that the roads have just gotten worse. And the problem with that is it wasn't necessarily the gravel, it was where the road became broken. So where the road transitioned into the gravel, jarring experience. For one, when we turned on that road and the gravel was basically just rock chips, so it wasn't really paved. All you hear is stones flying off of carbon. As you see, one of the guys that was on that in the truck with me, the pickup truck that picked us up, the support car, if you look at his bike, well, he showed me his bike, a rock chip cracked his carbon. It cracked the carbon on his bike. So it's just kind of, you spend that much money and something is not being stated on the flyer, and you go and do a race like that, and then your equipment ends up taking punishment, and now you're having to exude more resources after you already prepared whatever resources you had to go out to a race like that. Disappointing. So with that, the Swamp Classics road race does not pass the vibe check for me personally. I'm not saying this for anyone else to not try it. I'm saying it as just be prepared that this is the situation. I have heard that they may be reviewing and changing that course next year. If they do, that would be awesome. But I will never do that road race again if it's that same course and those roads are not repaired. That was a disaster. So the road race was a surprise. Crits are a little bit different. There's a risk factor there, and you know that when you race crits, it can get feisty, it can get a little dangerous. And at this level, starting out in the season, everyone is coming from indoor training. We're all figuring out how to turn our bikes again. And it's not that we forgot how, but turning your bike at speed is an adjustment after riding on a trainer that does not move.
Took a deal, signed another deal, post up in the hills, on the rail, headed for a mill, travel with me still, gang kills, all this pop appeal, got these pop stars try popping in, and they getting pop for real, I ain't tryna build, I was tryna lead a mill, getting to it, before I hopped up off the block, I was still going through it, friends doing pills, and came faster than it should've, I was Buddy Hill, shooting at a pace soon as I pull up, dropping buckets, hey, yeah, like it's nothing. In the kitchen chopping onions, yeah. Tears falling down, underdog is finally overcoming, cause I'm dropping buckets, hey, yeah, like it's nothing, hey. Earn my respect and burn a budget, hey. Tears falling down, underdog is finally overcoming, baby, yeah, I'm dropping buckets. Drop some cash for me, don't worry about my past for me. I'm driving with no gasoline, this life I live's a fantasy. Yeah, I do this for my dogs, all my day ones and my family. My life gon' live through them if I end up in any tragedies. I hope y'all understand this shit got bigger cause it had to be. I always knew I had it, but just not at this capacity. I recognize the gravity, closer to the summit, stacking chips and counting nuggets. I've been stunting, baby, cause I'm dropping buckets, hey, yeah, like it's nothing, hey. In the kitchen chopping onions, hey. Tears falling down, underdog is finally overcoming, cause I'm dropping buckets, hey, yeah, like it's nothing, hey. Earn my respect and burn a budget, hey. Tears falling down, underdog is finally overcoming, baby, cause I'm dropping buckets. Earn my respect and burn a budget. Tears falling down, underdog is finally overcoming, baby, cause I'm dropping buckets.
I hit a guy going 30 miles per hour trying to avoid a wreck that was happening. Now let me explain. So as it was happening, I already had an idea of where my out was going to be. Now, with how fast we were going, that margin, that time that you have to react gets smaller and shorter quite quickly. And I was like, I saw the wreck happening here, and I knew that the grass was the best option. Even if I had to fall and slide on the grass, I would have taken that versus hitting the concrete or running someone over. But as you guys can see, I ran out of options quickly. Line of options were just checking off. I was like, I'm gonna go here. Nope, it's still spreading. And as you can see, there is that white, I think it was a felt. I forgot, I can't tell what bike that is, but when we run the tapes, that crossed over, because in my head, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try and go between the spectator and the guy who was going down on the left. That was my line. I wasn't thinking to go even bank harder right because of how fast we were going. There was no way I was going to be able to bank harder right at that speed. And plus with the grass and how it dips down, I was also trying to make sure I wasn't going over the handlebars. All these things were going through my mind. It was happening slow and fast at the same. Now I'm going to go through maybe 3 or 4 things that I could have done differently that probably would have kept me out of that situation as a whole. Number 1, I raced that race extremely conservative. My fitness is not peak, but my fitness is great, and it's probably better than it has ever been. But my placement and where I was at the end of that race was not ideal, especially with how good I was feeling. I should have been way up front, but I did a lot of procrastinating at the wrong time of the race. And I was like, I can self-correct and course correct when it comes down to it. Obviously that was not the case. So that's 1. Number 2, now why the heck am I sprinting a field sprint in the position that I'm in? There was no point at that point, but the problem is that I knew the field was a conglomerate of a bunch of categories. So we had category 3, 4 in collegiate B, but the attendance was so large. There was at least 65 riders, 50 to 65 riders that attended that crit. So it was a lot of riders out there. So all I was thinking was, I'll just salvage it just by seeing where I can place in the Cat 3 category. Because believe it or not, a lot of the Cat 3s weren't at the front at the end of this race. So I had a feeling that if I position myself to place where I can place, I can get the points that I need to move to Cat 2, because I was not going out to this race to win it. But that was leading me to number 3. I should have went out on that race to win, because then I would have been able to ride aggressively and be in a better placement. But also that can be a double-edged sword, because if you're racing too aggressive, you can overcook that grease. So all a learning experience, and I think that's the reason why I love racing, man, because you're always learning. You're just always learning. When I hit the spectator, as you can see, I braced for impact, which is probably not something you should do. I think they always say you should ragdoll yourself, but it's so hard to do. Your body wants to defend itself. So everything tensed. And when I hit him, I tucked my head, and I guess I hit him in the chest. But what that did was the force of 30 miles per hour. I don't know what he felt, but I remember him saying that he felt like he blacked out for a second. But what I got was this force to the back of my neck and all of my shoulder. So I essentially, the pain was so insane at the start of it. And then of course, that's where your adrenaline kicks in. And I was like, this is not, I just had to lay there and just assess and hope that I didn't break my neck. And once I assessed that I was okay, I stood up, and then of course the EMT checked me out to make sure I didn't have like a concussion or anything, thank God. I checked my bike. The bike is okay. I haven't ridden it since the accident, but I just have to, she's a little flat. I guess from the impacts, I have to change the tubes and just ride it from there and hope that nothing else really happened. But I assessed that the bike was okay. Spoke to a few guys that are checking on me, and I said, look, man, I'm gonna walk my bike across that line because I did not come all this way to DNF to not finish my race. So I picked up my bike and I walked across that line. And it sounds very dramatic. It almost sounds very vegan cyclist, but I was not gonna get a DNF. I didn't have time for that. I came out there to compete and finish my race. So where do we go from here? The crit was a lot of fun. It fit my profile. It's Florida, so it was mainly flat with a couple rolling sections. And then right in that left turn, the turn number 1, there's a median there, so everyone funnels in, so it always banks in. So we're coming into that going between 25 to 30 miles per hour, and then we're immediately slowing down to 18, and then immediately getting right back up to speed to 27. So it felt like an effort every time, and because I was racing conservative, my placement wasn't great, I was using energy, which thank God for fitness, but I wasn't racing efficient. I wasn't using my energy in the correct way. If I stayed at the front most of that race, I probably would have had more of a continuous effort other than power that kind of looks like this. So that was an experience. Would I go out there and do this again? No, I don't think I would do the Swamp Classics again. If they changed the road race, then I believe it would be worth it. But driving, I think it took me about 4 to 5 hours just to do one crit race. It's a waste of time, waste of resources. I don't think I would go out my way to do that again. So you have the Southeast region of races, and that would be the first one that kicks off the race season. And then after that, you have Auburn, which is more local to us, Auburn, Alabama. And then you have Alabama, and then you have Hincapie, which is North Carolina or South Carolina, one of them. So, and that kicks off February 22nd, which is like right around the corner. And yeah, I think I would do it again, but yeah, I don't think I would do it again. But anyway, man, I appreciate y'all watching. My healing journey is going fine. Thank God my legs work. Thank God I have a bike to train on. I've been able to stay on it. I haven't lost any fitness during the accident. Just the healing process of my neck has been more of just like a nagging nuisance, like being able to turn my head the correct way. But outside of that, if all goes well, Auburn, which is February 22nd, will be my next race. And that'll be the road race and the crit race. But that really all depends on how I feel here, because I love to get out the saddle and I love to sprint. And if I don't have that full range of motion, I would have to race completely different and adapt very different. So it's a learning process. But anyway, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that comment button, all the YouTube things. It helps the channel out. It helps me grow. And I'm trying to get you guys more content the best I can. I wanted to get this out to you guys sooner, but after that wreck, I was a little, I wouldn't say mentally off, but I needed time to heal here and also time to heal here and be in a creative space to kind of out to you guys. But anyway, see y'all on the next one. Peace.
Mr. Dan.